What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a few months. A few things happened with the car. I haven't been out here to the canyons in probably longer than that. First things first, got in an accident on my way to work one day, right after I had some issues with the car. I got rear-ended. I got sent into the car in front of me. I might put pictures on this video of the damage, but it was bad, but it wasn't too bad. Basically new hatch door, new rear bumper, new driver's side quarter panel, and a brand new front bumper, which I'm pretty happy about because that means I get my grill back, which I had lost a while back due to a tire on the freeway. I haven't had it for maybe a month out of the 2 months, and by the time I did get it back, I had to take it back to the shop for a bunch of little things here and there. As always, anytime you get into a car accident, they fix the car. They never quite do it 100% how it was. Still not 100% as far as fitment goes, and granted, this car's fitment is not the greatest to begin with, but it's now like way more noticeable in certain things, especially my headlights, my front bumper stuff. It's pretty noticeable. We're about to hit a tunnel here, so you know what that means. It means windows down. And I'm pretty sure you couldn't hear anything but wind, but whatever, it's always fun to do. But anyways, back to the car. So yeah, all of that happened. I had to take the seat off, which I'm really happy actually that I had this bucket seat installed when I got in the accident. I was fully stopped on the freeway. The car in front of me had to emergency stop for whatever reason. I stopped with like a good 3-4 feet of distance between them and me, and their car behind me, of course, not paying attention. They had been tailgating me for a while, and I was thinking about moving from the fast lane over to the other lane, but weirdly enough, the freeway entry that I needed to go to is on the left side, so I needed to stay on that lane, so I couldn't move really. I get rear-ended, and the seat made a huge difference, I feel, compared to the stock seat, because like, if you had seen the other video of me complaining about the stock seat and why I had the bucket seat, one of my main concerns was that the backrest was super floppy, and it felt like any hit and it wouldn't hold me, like it would just drop backwards. Fortunately, with this seat, when the impact was probably like around 40-45 miles an hour, but that's how fast I think the guy behind me was coming. Seat held up very nice. The planted bracket held up perfectly. The only thing that didn't hold up, which I kind of already knew was going to be a weak point, was the seat slider. It just bent the rails of the slider, so meaning whatever position I was on, as far as back and forth, it got stuck there because the slider got bent in half, basically, almost like a V shape. And that's as much damage as the seat got. Like, that was it. I was fine. I mean, sore, you know, my neck was a little sore, but that's just because this headrest is really stiff. There's no padding on it, and when I hit it kind of hard. It sucked. At first I thought it was going to be total, but then once, you know, I calmed down and looked at the car, because I towed it home. Once I looked at the car at home, figured there's no way it's going to be total. It's perfectly fine. It's just bumpers and stuff like that. Frame wasn't bent or damaged or anything like that. But you know, I to my head, you know, it doesn't drive the same, but I know he does. Because I think right now the biggest issue I'm having is I purchased a new seat slider, and that seat slider was like $10 less on Amazon, because I bought it from Evasive Motorsports website the first time around, and that one was pretty solid, pretty nice, no complaints. This seat slider, I got it from Amazon. It says it's the same NRG one. I have my doubts. The box looks the same, but the materials don't. The metal looks more like you know, that like gold looking zinc metal, and it moves a lot. Like when I'm not confident right now in the canyons, I wasn't that confident. Like, it wasn't horrible, but I knew there was a limit just because of how much I moved left to right. And he kind of doesn't only move left and right, he kind of like sways left and right too at the same time. So I'm only being thrown to the left, but I'm also swaying to the left, so I'm completely like almost coming out of the seat. It feels like I'm coming out of the seat, but I know I'm not. So a few things about that is, I think is two issues. Number one is the seat slider that I got that was cheaper. I regret buying that because now I'm paying for it. So the metal being different and all that stuff. And number two, the bucket seat brackets, the side brackets that hold the bucket seat to the bracket on the floor, or to the slider in my case. I think those did get bent, and I kind of pushed them back in place, which, you know, once metal bends is not the same. And I think that's what's causing that swaying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the seat slider, and then I'm going to replace the bucket seat brackets, the side brackets, get new ones, and I'm pretty sure that's going to take care of it, because like I said, the movement that I feel, it feels like it's a lot, but once I actually, say for example, I throw it into a corner and I move, it feels like it's a lot, but once I'm there holding the steering, it doesn't feel too bad. It doesn't feel like I moved a lot. I think it's just the initial push that feels like it's a lot. So I'm just gonna try and fix that. It kind of sucks because, like I said, I was having issues with the car the day before I got in the accident. So I went to Big Bear with my wife. On the way down, I get a message on the screen here on the dash saying low brake fluid, and that caught me by surprise. I thought it was a fluke because I check my brake fluid before leaving to the trip. I usually check most of my fluids whenever I know I'm going to go on a road trip, and I knew my fluid was good. There was no leaks at the place that we stayed at. We stayed at Airbnb. There was no leaks. It would have been super obvious. I drove my car pretty much the entire time we were out there, since it's the only car that we took, and no leaks anywhere, no like brake pedal all the way to the floor, nothing. It was braking normal, so I thought like, well, there's no way. And then as soon as it came up, it went away. Just as soon as it came up, it just went away. And I was like, oh yeah, it's probably nothing. And then we're coming down this, you know, if you've never been to Big Bear, it's pretty windy canyon road. And I was not driving like I usually drive when I come out here to ACA. Not enough to scare my wife, but just enough that my wife took notice. And then not even a mile after it showed up on the screen, it shows up again saying low brake fluid. This time it did not go away. And I was like, all right, you know what, just for my own peace of mind, I'm just gonna pull over, I'm gonna take a look at it and just check it. I opened the hood, open up the reservoir, and sure enough, my brake fluid is pretty low. It's not on the minimum line, but it's between the minimum and the max lines, so somewhere in there. So like half of it. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. I haven't seen any leaks anywhere, but whatever. That's more than enough that by the time we get to the bottom, I'll stop by an O'Reilly's or something and then get some brake fluid, and then, you know, that'll be that, and I'll see what the issue is. So I was driving pretty slow after that. I was maybe doing like 30 miles an hour max. I was in third gear the whole time, just coasting, not really trying to push my luck. So I went to go check, and by the time I get back in the car, and you know, I figure I gotta drive slow, by the time I get in the car, the warning is gone again. And that was pretty weird because I didn't clear it. My wife obviously didn't clear it. You have to hit the OK for like 5 seconds or something to clear it, or at least you'll see the little eye at the bottom for information letting you know, hey, there's a code, or there's something wrong with the car, pay attention to this. There was nothing. So drive down. By the time I get to the O'Reilly's, and I'm glad that this is a stick, because that was the only reason I was able to get away from not having to touch my brakes on the way down at all. Oh, by the way, I got hit right here on the other side. This is where I had my accident. But anyways, because it's a stick, I was able to just, you know, downshift, engine brake, and all that stuff, and not have to worry about using the brakes too much. I used them maybe twice for pinhead turns, and that was it. Other than that, it was just coasting, downshifting, upshifting, whatever I needed to do. Once I get to the O'Reilly's and I look at my reservoir again, it's completely empty. No fluid whatsoever. There's no leaks in the engine bay, there's no leaks under the car, there's no broken lines. So that to me, I was dumbfounded because there was no signs of anything being wrong, but sure enough, my reservoir is empty. So I get to O'Reilly's, get some DOT4 brake fluid, throw it on there, and I am panicking at this point because if I have a leak and I don't see where it's coming from, I don't know if it's being caused by me pressing the brakes or not. I don't know if it's pressure related or if it's just a leak. In my head, I'm thinking it's not, it's leaking from somewhere because I only, like I said, I only touched the brake twice, but yet my brake fluid was fully gone. At this point, I'm also nervous because I probably have air on the lines, on the brake lines. So I drove home from Big Bear to Orange County. I pressed the brakes maybe twice on the freeway and then once to get out of the freeway, and then from there, from the freeway, it's a straight shot to my place. So I get home, fill it up with more brake fluid. Actually, no, I checked my brake fluid. My brake fluid is fine. It's still at the max line from when I filled it up at O'Reilly's. And then, long story short, next day I don't take it to work. I take it instead to get like I just take it to my brother-in-law's to go to the garage to get it checked out. There's no leaks anywhere. I could not find a leak anywhere. That was 2 months ago. And then the next day after I check it, I get in a car accident. And then I didn't have the car for a month. And I've had the car for, I want to say, like a good 3 weeks to a month now. Just haven't really felt like driving out here. It was nice to not have to wake up early on Sundays. And honestly, it was I was kind of a little bit burned out from it. It's getting a little too crowded now out there because, you know, pandemic and everybody had time to drive. But now, like, as I left right now, parking lot is almost full. So it's just one of those where I might just come in earlier or I might come in during the week. I'm not sure yet what I'll do. But yeah, didn't want to make this a long video. If I put the explanation of what happened to the car, it's gonna end up being a long video. But you know, I still have parts for it. I have big plans for it before the accident. That the accident happened, and I was kind of like, you know, not as excited about it anymore. And I was thinking like, maybe I just don't do anything anymore. I just leave it as it is, and just, I wasn't even thinking of taking the tune off and all that stuff. But this month is my birthday, and what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna get a revision of my tune. Probably in the next couple of weeks or so, I'm gonna get a revision for it. Finally get a tune for the car specifically, not just like a general tune from Stratified, which honestly I can't complain, and just maybe make a little bit more power, hopefully. I'm always at 19 psi. I know some other cars do like 23, 25. If I see 20, I get excited. So I gotta figure out what that's about. It's probably the turbo that I put. Maybe I have a leak somewhere. I know I have an exhaust leaks like crazy, but I don't think that should matter when it comes to my PSI. But anyways, just ranting off here. So yeah, what's coming up for the car? I'm doing a revision on the tune. I still got to put my lower front bracing, and we're gonna do little things here and there. One of the big things that I have coming up, hopefully not too long from now, is gonna be the radiator and the expansion pack for the coolant, or the extension tank for the coolant, because I believe I'm still leaking a little bit. It's not as bad as when I had that big crack, but it's leaking, and I just want to get that fixed. So I'm gonna look into that for the cooling system next, and then after that we'll see. I'm getting more and more interested in the idea of going big turbo, just because I'm so used to the power that this makes now. I am going out there and I'm getting faster. The seat made a world of a difference. I didn't film it, but on the way down I had one of the fastest guys at that mountain, bar none, like can't even question that, on his motorcycle follow me, and he's pushing me to go harder and harder. He's just letting me know like you can go faster, and I am kind of running out of power in some places. It's just like I'm only going as fast as the car it can go. So big turbo maybe down the road, maybe next year, I'm not sure, but kind of liking that idea more and more every day. Also thought about getting a Type R, selling this because prices are up, but don't feel like starting car payments all over or having to deal with selling the car, buying a new car, all this stuff. But yeah, so that's gonna be the video for today, and then maybe same day today that I post this video or the next day I'll be posting my ride up after months of not being out here, not doing anything really car related. Like I haven't really cared to do anything else. Like I said, that car accident kind of like put my mood down as far as the car goes, but now I'm feeling better. I'm getting more excited about things. So yeah, that's gonna be the video for today. Hit the subscribe button. Should be having more content coming out. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one.